Okay, so sorry. Um, we're good. Okay, sorry. There once was a famous man in history, in Black culture, by the name of Nino Brown and his partner G Money. And the quote goes, "Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. The Usos are back. The Motor City Machine Guns are saying they're one of the best tag teams in the world and still proving it. And it is Saturday. That means it's time for the Smackdown Penitentiary. Let's go, y'all." Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man. It is time. It's time. It's Saturday. It's time for the premier show on UPR. You got your boys the Asylum. You got Vic here. The real is back. It feels good on a nice Saturday. It's about 68 degrees on the East Coast right now. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. Just chilling, man. It's just, enjoying this cinema that we got going on over here.
Straight cinema. Oh God. Whatever your favorite director is, it's that. It's all of that. Quentin Tarantino. It is at his peak. He can never go wrong with a Quentin Tarantino flick, can you? No. Michael Bay. Michael Bay at the top of his game. He fucked up a couple of franchises, but still, Michael Bay got the camera shots. So we had a really fire Smackdown last night. And for everybody up here in the chat, I would just like to say to you,
welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
Yeah, buddy. Now, I hate shows like this, but I like shows like this. And I hate it in the sense of they're double book shows. So before you can even start to get the read up on what happened for the night that you just watched, you're now getting what's going to happen next week. So it was so hard for me to recap everything as I'm prepping for the show to get clips and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I accidentally clicked the spoiler. None of them have spoiler alerts on them. Only a few sites I've seen have spoiler alerts, but still, we still had a fire Smackdown. I'm sorry, I'm heard beeping. As we about to get up here in this chat, Mike Knox says, let's effing go. Chris, you are absolutely right. This has been used before, but hey, it's an oldie but goodie. And you can never go wrong with New Jack City. Every time I watch New Jack City, you know what I do? I rewatch it again right when I get done. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's backstage. Sabrina Stella checks in with the waves. These aren't dirt sheets, Mike. These are actual people, because how people, they want to be the ones to share it. So I hate it, and I don't want to talk about it, but I have to talk about it because it's come along and it's what we do, right? So the ending, like the double ending, the double ending of SmackDown, great, and I'll get into the double ending when we get to it. But we start off SmackDown with actually they started pretty hot, and I like to use this the moniker of them still coming in hot, like the Attitude Era, and that's kind of what they did. I mean, you didn't really have an intro shot. It was pretty much just Orton coming to the ring hot. They were still playing the intro music as Orton was coming to the ring.
I'm not gonna lie, I appreciated the way they did it. They made it seem very real.
Yeah. And Orton gets right here at Gorilla. His music is already playing, right? And he just stops, and the way he just shoved Homeboy, man, get out the way. Get out the way, man. I'm talking Trips right now. Right? And Trips is like, yo, get out, man. We on. Come on, man. Go do your fucking job, man. Get out there. And Orton gives a little tap to the.
I'll tell you what, though, That's that evolution privilege. You heard?
Yeah.
Not everybody's getting that. That's not.
There you go.
He's straight up. You know what I mean? He pulled that evolution card. Like that shit was popping. I'm not gonna lie.
Straight off the top, Orton comes out and he says that he wants Owens pause, and he's saying pretty much this was very reminiscent of Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns when Brock came back the first time for him, and he tells him that he's not protecting Brock Lesnar, but he's protecting him from Brock Lesnar. This is rinse and reuse. This is exactly what this was. And
I mean, you know, it's a little bit more personal though, because he went and got into Randy's injuries and Randy's, you know, and Randy and how Kevin Owens will do any kind of wild stuff. And mind you, if you go back to the Thunderdome era, I think that Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins had one of the craziest matches with no fans. You see?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Kevin Owens has a history of just doing wild stuff and hurting people, you know, like super power bombs off the belt, off the middle of the thing. You know, like in that, I feel like he's just doing a great promo for Kevin Owens as a heel. If that makes sense.
I thought Triple H's verbiage and his promo was really good because the fact that he used Kevin Owens' prize fighter gimmick.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people, you had to be in the trenches for the prize fighter, and that's what most people want. Is that, you know, the prize fighter gimmick. They say you got us all type of copyrights.
Yo, nah, you know what I realized? What I realized is that you have, because I thought you were just going through the show, right? But I realized that you take clips and then put up the clips, right? So it was last minute. I just, you know, open the tab, bomb, and just kept pausing it, took off the sound, and then I thought we was good with that. Oh no.
the only thing that we can't do for those.
I didn't play the entire episode of Smackdown. Okay, I had it playing in the background. And then I popped up every now and then. It wasn't the whole episode, but we got it done, and a whole bunch of y'all.
We can only do that. We can only do that on Twitter. That's the only thing we can do on Twitter. The funny thing is, I was out last night taking my son trunk or treating, and I said I couldn't log into my Xfinity because it's location based, and it's just not going to. It wasn't going to do it. So I was like, you know what? Those mofos on Twitter, on Twitch. Goated. They had the whole show, and when they had commercials, when they went to a commercial break, this channel, I wish I bought it. I wish I had it up. This channel was so classic that when they switched to a commercial, they would switch to like a SmackDown "We'll Be Back" logo, and then in the background they would play old school like wrestling entrance theme songs. And I'm like, this was goated. I don't even think I'm gonna watch. I don't even think I'm gonna watch wrestling the same way anymore. Once I find that, it'll be. I'll post it for anybody who wants to know. Yes, EC, trunk or treating is where you don't actually, the kids don't go to house to house, but they reside in one big like parking lot area, and the kids go from vehicle to vehicle. People decorate their vehicles and all of that. It's convenient, so I don't have to do a whole bunch of walking around neighborhoods. So
that's pretty much what it is. People don't want to walk the neighborhood no more.
Yep, people do not want to walk the neighborhoods, and people don't want to do anything on Halloween. Actually, most people don't want to do anything on Halloween, so
except
they do it like a week. Yeah, they do it a week before. But back to this promo, Triple H finally gives in. He gets so angry that he finally gives in. And you know the funny thing, watching these two stand in the ring across from each other is the way how Orton looks so much bigger than Triple H. I mean, like we know he got the muscle, but like I don't even remember Triple H like having to seem like he's looking up at Orton. But I just think that this was a really good segment. It was a good way to start off SmackDown. And
but Triple H used to wear lifts in his boots.
Did he?
Yeah.
Huh. So what's his build? What's his actual height? He's 6'4", 6'5"? He's 6'4" because Rock's 6'5", right?
Mm-hmm. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", actually. You know what I mean?
Damn.
He wore lifts to be a little. I mean, that's the, you know.
Oh, he's 6'2". So what is Rock? Is Rock 6? I thought Rock was like 6'5".
I don't even know.
I feel like, I don't know. All right, that's now I learned something new today. Yeah, Rock. Okay, so that makes sense because Rock and Triple H did seem like they were kind of even-eyed, and the lift thing does make sense. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. So moving on in the night, we get Andrade and Carmelo Hayes game 7. And I gotta tell you, this was probably up until this point, this was one of the best 7 series feuds that I've seen. And they mailed it in. I'm sorry, they mailed it in. To me, that was trash. I can't even. It pissed me off, honestly. It pissed me off because
the way that ended,
yeah, it really pissed me off. And probably the highlight of this match absolutely had to been this spot here. Absolutely had to be.
Yeah, when they was jumping over LA Knight.
Yeah. Really, really good. Beautiful.
I got a feeling that they're gonna triple threat somewhere.
Yeah, they announced
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did. I didn't even get that.
So LA Knight this doesn't even come off very. He doesn't even come off as the face anymore. Can anybody tell me if LA Knight is the face or the heel? Anybody in the chat?
He's a face.
He's a face.
But
this was the most heelish shit.
No, but he's like a he's a face of just acting like a tweeter. Like, I think that his problem, in my opinion at least, is that a lot of his stuff is like a Stone Cold ripoff. And I don't think, and it's working. But I don't think the legs, I don't think it's gonna have a lot of legs. I don't know. We'll see. You know what I mean?
I think that initially it was going to be a fatal 4-way with AJ Styles in it, but you know, the guy went down, so they had to pivot. But just the way I get what you're saying, EC, that this is the only way it could have ended. But I don't think. First of all, I don't think the LA Knight even needed to be a special guest referee. I don't think.
I don't think he needed to be involved. Referee. I think he should have just been in the commentary.
I think that what should have happened is the fact that from the previous week, I think the animosity that he had towards Andrade, that should have boiled over to last night, and then he just came out there and interfered with Andrade instead of him being like, this was one of the weakest special ref spots I've ever seen. I'm sorry, it wasn't for me. But this was very heelish. He goes, rings the bell himself, stands on top of the commentary table and makes it all about him. And this match had absolutely nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. That's why I'm saying that it's very heelish, because this had nothing to do with LA Knight. It had to do with getting a spot versus him, but it wasn't about, the feud was never about him. It was who was better, Andrade or Carmelo Hayes, and we didn't get to see that. We got robbed of that game 7. Now we'll probably still never get the game 7 unless the title changes hands on to one of these guys, and then we'll get the game 7 for between them two. But yeah, so AJ was, but yeah, I thought that was a good spot for AJ coming back and pretty much being in his last year in WWE. I'm really hoping that they take his injury time and put it on the back half of his contract. Let him go out the way that he wants to. I believe that if a wrestler is able and still looks good in the ring doing what they love, I I believe that they should walk out on their own shield. But yeah, that's exactly what LA Knight did. This is game 6.5. This is trash.
I'll tell you one thing that I realized. I think that they kind of booked this for a crowd reaction. And then one thing that I noticed last night is that the crowd reaction was rather mid. I got a feeling that
was it for LA Knight or total?
No, just for everybody. I think for everybody in general, because usually Brooklyn is a lot more. Usually Brooklyn is a lot more, But I felt like the crowd reaction was pretty mid, and honestly that could just have been to the Yankee game. To tell you the truth, that's what I think. I think that they pre-booked all of this and didn't necessarily realize that New Yorkers were going to be occupied. You know what I mean? I got a feeling that like the core fan base didn't necessarily go to this SmackDown. I wonder, people will say something in the comments, but I don't know. There was just something about that crowd that was kind of mid. It felt like it was, it didn't feel like New York. I'll tell you that much, So, but because they booked this whole show pretty well. So like, I don't know. I felt like this whole situation was set up a long time ago to be in Brooklyn to kind of get a reaction, and yeah.
I think that I think that I thought the crowd was pretty hype at times.
Oh no, like any regular crowd, you know what I'm saying? But my point is just that like a lot of times when you go to New York, you have that hardcore wrestling fan base that makes all this noise and acts up, right? That certainly wasn't prevalent here, and that's and sometimes they book things for certain crowds, and I feel like they were just trying to get a stronger crowd reaction, because I personally think that the LA Knight reaction was pretty mid-level. Usually, I mean, he'll get the LA whatever, you know what I mean? But I felt like it was pretty, unless he's dwindling already. You understand? Unless people are starting to get tired of him. But I've
been tired of him. I'm sorry.
I didn't see the same reaction that, And I attested to the Yankee game because, I mean, look, they lost yesterday. Everybody's tight. And it was game 1 of the World Series. Like, I don't think they expected all of that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I am tired of the LA Knight run. It's been underwhelming to me. But some people like this LA Knight. I don't. You could have still gave me Max Dupree, the close talker. You could have gave me that still. This shit is trash. I will say that I am not a hater. It's something about LA Knight is just boring to me. I'm sorry, it's boring to me. Like, you know what it was? The hype about LA Knight and his mic talking skills. And my man got thrashed on the mic by one of real world's greatest, Mike Mizanin. He never recovered on the microphone. For me, he's never recovered ever since the Miz smashed him on the microphone. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm not taking anything away from his talent or his anything that he does, because he's, in my opinion, LA Knight is one of the best people on the mic in the thing. I as far as this whole thing goes, I just think they don't have anything for him, and I think that's his biggest problem, because Jimmy Uso is getting a bigger reaction. You know what I mean? Yes, he was gone for a long time, but he's part of a big storyline. So
he's wearing a leather strap. You are absolutely right, Steve. He cannot. I think he has a zipper on it. You still can't zipper that thing up. Not a lot of people are going to lose to Miz on it. What do you mean? Man, listen.
I think he's trying to say that not a lot of people are going to beat Miz on the mic. I think the only person that can beat Miz on the mic is Paul Heyman and John Cena. Straight up. I don't think anybody else can fuck with Miz on the mic. So he got a point there.
I think Roman would shred him. I think Roman would shred him.
The Miz?
Yeah, I think Roman was shredding.
Bro.
Yeah,
No, because all the Miz got to do is just go back to the past, bro. Straight up. Like, come on. The Miz's ascension is a hell of a lot better than Roman Reigns is.
I am not a hater. How is it okay for you to hate on Tonga Loa? You hate on Tonga Loa, and I say something that I can't get into LA Night. But you deliberately come on here. You're deliberately sitting backstage so you can come on and talk about, oh my God, he's just a seconding me. We caught about 40 just a seconds on Top 5 on Thursday, y'all. About 40. And that was just from EC. And then Mike started, Mike started getting in on it too, ribboning. I would love to see it. I don't think that we will ever see it. You probably are right, but I think for things like that, Miz probably got a couple of dingers straight up in the suitcase ready. Oh God. Now backstage, moving on. Backstage, we see Nia talking to Tiffy Time. And Tiffy had the sniffies, so she was not there, and she's been kind of replaced, and so to speak. And before I proceed, I just acknowledge how fine both of these women is looking.
Facts.
And I love a women's. I think. And I might be reaching here what Nia's doing. This is a nice little click.
Here we go.
I want to say, and I'm saying I'm probably reaching here because remember Booker T's The King's Court?
Oh, nice.
I think that this would be a good version under Nia's wing. If you could take these three, and Tiffy clearly is going to be the breakout, right? She's clearly going to be the breakout, and then you still get Candice and the lovely Indy Hartwell as her sidekicks, but Tiffy comes out and comes out of that group and becomes the champion because of it. I think that it could be a reach, but this could be the way that they go, especially even now if Nia wins versus Liv Morgan. And oh God. This is who hates. Steve hates. Your partner hates, EC. You guys absolutely hate. See, Queen's Court. Thank you.
I mean,
I thought it was a reach at first.
You know what?
Hold on, just a second. There is nobody that is a bigger hater than you, Dice. You sit here and hate on LA Knight. There's no reason for you to hate on LA Knight. The man is perfectly fine. You act like he got shredded by the Miz and he has not recovered in 2 fucking years. The man's when he had a great promo with Logan Paul. He's had a great promo with Roman Reigns.
He did not.
Oh, just a second.
Oh my God.
Everybody talks about their match. And
just make the t-shirt already.
You act like you're not there. He had a good match with him. Yeah. Well, you know what? Can you highlight unofficial camera woman's comments? Because I noticed she does this bullshit on Tuesday and she thinks I don't know. You can hate all you want. Matter of fact, Steve knows too, because we talk about it, right? The hateration of unofficial camera woman when you sit here and talk about one of her little clueless idiots like Javon Evans, who pulls up his pants before he's going to try to punch somebody. He's the size of a toothpick. It's stupid.
That is the national N-word stands for I'm about to F you up. That's what that is. We did a commercial. Remember Terrence Crawford did that? He did that versus Austin Theory and the Aussie. What's that? The Aussie dude. That's the national stance. You about to fuck somebody up.
Just a second. You know what we need to do? We need to sit here and we need to acknowledge the fact that here at Unpopular Review, we click all comments. Unofficial camera woman. She wants to be a hater. We click all comments. No, but for real, someone at the federal government needs to stop sending Indy an unemployment check because she's clearly working. You know
what? See, this is hate. You highlight your partner's hate.
I agree with Steven. I thought she lost her job also. You know what I'm saying? I walked downtown not too long ago, and I could have sworn I saw her handing out meals at a soup kitchen. I didn't know Indy Hartwell was still an employee with WWE. I had no clue. Shout out to Mary J. Blige, Captain Shay.
Y'all act like people have to stay on the camera at all times. I guarantee you, when you watch Attitude Era, I guarantee you did not sit up here and scrutinize these people like this. I guarantee you did. That's 31 just a second.
Look, just a second. 3 minutes. Let me ask you a question. Can you name in the last year, your favorite Indy Hartwell match? Go.
When she won the NXT Women's Championship.
Last year. That was 2
years
ago.
That's in the last year. What are you talking? That's not 2 years ago. That's within the last year.
In 2023. I don't know if you know where I'm about to be in 2025. Can you name your favorite Indy Hartwell match?
If I seen her on TV, then yes, I would.
All I want to know is, can you name your top 5 Indy Hartwell match?
How can I have a Indy Hartwell match in the past year if she's been injured?
Just a second. Let me ask you another question. At your job,
that's not what we're doing here.
If you don't show up for 3 times in 1 week, do you still have a job?
Yes. Because I have a son.
So because you have a kid, you know what you are? You're like the smoker who deserves a smoking break, 4 smoking breaks, and a 15-minute break in one day. You're one of those guys. Like, I swear to God. Go, take over your show. I'll be right here.
Thank you. Just a second. I got the reins back. Okay, just a second. Now, Tiffy Time has the night off because Naya has enlisted the services of Candice LeRae. I'm sure EC hates her too. But hey, she's going to face Naomi. Now, this is a match that nobody asked for. I'm sure this is a match that Naomi didn't even want. But in all honesty, nobody really cared about the match. We cared about the ending. We cared about y'all know what we cared about. But anyway, this actually was a good showing for Candice. Naomi, she's getting her veteran licks in. Cool. That's all right. But Indy Hartwell is being like this she's helping Candice get her dubs, but she's not really doing much, right? She's just interfering at the right time. And we get Bayley out here to even the score. And I would say, as much as I love Bayley, I'm sorry. Thank you, George. Now, for those of you Smackdown Penitentiary, y'all know how we do. You know how I feel about this woman here. And anytime that this woman is on screen, the lovely, luscious, thick-assed, peachy keen, my shaved head queen, we simply would like to say, hashtag I love you, Pamela Martinez. All right, now back to this match. Who's that? George put the between the legs thing. That was pretty dope. Let me find that spot for me. There we go.
That stood out.
This is the best thing about the match. And this is after the match.
Facts.
It was great.
It was
nice to see the ladies get some shine.
I mean, it was nice to see freaking Candice LeRae.
Just a second.
Oh my God! This is why we're not going to be an hour today. What are you talking?
No, because you two are ridiculous. You two are crazy. You sit here like people. I don't. You know what? I know your game, Z. I peep it. You sit here and you're like, let's talk about how capable these 2 women are. Captain Shay, can we highlight her comment right here? Because even though she says it about a bum wrestler, Candice is such a capable in-ring performer. She just needs a chance to show it. It's hard to show when you don't get to put it on TV. So we're talking about her wrestling abilities, and this is the picture this man puts on while he's talking about these 2 women's wrestling abilities. You think I don't see your game? You think I don't see your game?
That's absolutely nothing.
You think I don't see your game?
What are you talking about?
Just a second. You think I don't see your game? You think I see it? I peep it.
First of all, I don't know what y'all do over there.
Bailey coming running out like the dinner bell was ringing, right?
I don't know what y'all do over there on Raw.
This is why.
This is not what we do. What are you talking about right now?
No, we are fair at
y'all fair.
Yeah, we're fair. You know, Freckles comes out here in his anime gimmick, and he's saying some stuff, and then I have to bring the show home. There's nothing BBL about Bailey. Two groceries in a ring, Naomi and Bailey. Well, are we talking about Aldi? Save a lot? What are you talking about? Shay, you misspelled jobber.
All got produce.
In ring jobber. I've never wanted to be Naomi's weave more in my life, and yeah, that was pretty funny. I love Pamela Martinez. Mike doesn't know. You know, Mike is obviously drunk and high. I mean, there's no other thing. There's going to be a tag team match between Bailey and Naomi versus Candice. Right? Hey, you know what? Who needs Dave Meltzer when we have George Lewis? I love my tribal chief. Love you, Solo. This is true. And you see, Cap knows what I'm talking about. We see how you go. Go ahead. Take control of your show. But can we not objectify women?
Anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're a true New Yorker.
Oh, my God.
You're a true New Yorker. Disrespectful.
This is not, first of all, that is not what we do here on the penitentiary. I'm not objectifying women because I've said nothing offensive. Ladies in the chat, did I say anything offensive about any female on our screen? I have not. I have complimented, I have acknowledged, and I'm over here celebrating. That's what we do here.
Bailey. Let him live, man.
We acknowledge Bailey every single week. Every single week, we acknowledge Bailey. This is our staple. This is why people love the Smackdown Penitentiary. This is why the penitentiary is better than a Raw review.
So
they love the segments. They love the conversation. And all of a sudden, here you come. Just a second. Your Honor, just a second. No. What are you talking about? This is what we do over in the penitentiary. This is what separates us. This is why we are the premier show on UPR. This is why we're the fastest rising show, because of this conversation, not a bunch of just a seconds. All right, moving on.
Oh, snap. And look, and you got a co-sign.
Oh, my God.
And you got a co-sign. Look.
He sees a trip. George is better than Dave Meltzer. Nah, Z just celebrating them. And I've never been offended by anything you said, Dice. Thirsty Thursday. Well, you're just as bad. Right?
Wow.
You might be the worst. You know what I'm saying? There's the Queen of Hearts, there's the Queen of Spades, there's the Queen of Ring, and there's just the Queen of Hateration. And that's you, Barbar. You are the queen. You're the biggest female hater I've ever met in my life, and I've met some women.
Wow.
Okay? Biggest female hater. Raw and SmackDown's beefing close enough. Welcome back to 2005. Shay, he's not credible. George Samuel Lewis is not credible. I 100% agree with Jeff. First of all, he's from Kentucky. Nobody from Kentucky. Have you ever met somebody from Kentucky?
Oh my God! What does that have to do with anything?
Just a second. Have you ever met anybody from Kentucky who's credible?
Nah.
Thank you. And he's from New York. Everybody goes to New York.
Hold on. You say you never met anybody from Kentucky that's credible?
The last have you not? Have you not
had?
Just a second. The last person I met from Kentucky, I put on the bus and shipped to New York. That's how bad they are. First of all, you're not going to meet anybody from Kentucky anyway, because we try to, that wall Donald Trump used to talk about? He was actually trying to build around Kentucky. He just used Mexico for the immigrants in order to get the funding. But he really built it around Kentucky because nobody wants to meet somebody from Kentucky. All right? The Colonel from KFC is credible. Well, I met him.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. 11 spices.
Last time I met the Colonel from KFC, he asked me to go in the backyard and pick some cotton. So I don't exactly want to talk to him. Okay. Let's see. Drinking the haterade. You only say that because I very rarely agree with you, Chris. And that proves why you're wrong. Captain says, oh my God, now why is Kentucky catching a stray? Because somebody needs to blow it up. That's why. Okay. It's a horrible state.
Whoa.
Because
first of all, we do not endorse these messages. This is solely on him. We need a disclaimer, because we don't agree with that here at the penitentiary. You are throwing all types. We will not be responsible for this.
Just a second. How many times you been to Kentucky?
No.
How many times you been to Kentucky, Z? How many times you been to Kentucky?
I've been there once, and I drove through it to get somewhere else. What do you mean?
You had to, just a second. Notice how Dice had to say he had to drive through it, right?
What am I supposed to do?
Just a second. Y'all may not see the intellect of this man. I see the intellect of this man. I know what he's doing is subliminal. Right? He threw shade at your state. George said he threw shade at your state. Without throwing shade.
I absolutely did not. He couldn't leave.
No, Vic. Hold on. Just a second, Z. Vic, did you hear him? He couldn't just say, yes, I did. He couldn't leave it at that. He said, no, I drove through it, right?
You gotta drive through it. Come on now.
He didn't add I drove through it like I was a NASCAR racer because I couldn't wait to get
I can't. This is ridiculous.
Take control of your show. Take control of your show.
Thank you. All right, next we get Cody Rhodes and Gunther's. Those spices are amazing. What are you talking about, Steve? Those spices, especially if you get the crispy recipe. That's all I'm saying. The crispy recipe is golden.
Just a second, you see George because he's talking about his fucking state, right? Let me tell you something. Your state never had more shine in its life, right? It never had more life. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris avoid your state. They're like, you can have it, motherfucker. You can have it. Nobody wants that state. The last time somebody called that a swing state when they were trying to figure out what country to send it to. All right. Oh, shit. Go ahead.
Now, anyway, we got. Are you going to let me? Because you keep saying take control of your show, and then you say just a second. So we get Cody Rhodes and Gunther in a face off, and Gunther says pretty much what everybody who does any type of review of wrestling has stated. You didn't need to bring your daughter into this, in which he absolutely did not, right? But it's the Cody Rhodes sympathy syndrome that he has. Every single feud that he's had, there is some aspect of his family that he brings into it. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
And Gunther shut that shit down. You didn't need this ain't about your daughter. It's about me and you, ho.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
And Cody says, what they call you the general of? You're not leading nobody.
Exactly.
You're not doing anything.
Mm.
Nothing. And Cody, in which I would say had one of the most fired up promos. And I wish I wrote down the verbiage that he was using. I can't remember it, but it's something of the lines of a guy who's fired up or a guy who's I'm sorry, I'm messing it up, so I'm not even going to try. Yes, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
What is your why? And he actually did what most heels do, and he struck first. Struck first, and I thought it was great. I thought that was great. Kaiser comes out.
Hold on, just a second. We don't.
Oh my Chris, no, that's not what we're doing.
You're glossing over the mechanics of the segment that we have to talk about. We have to discuss it. Okay. This is why, you know what? I'm done, Chris Harris. Don't piss me the F off. Okay, well, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on, which I feel like will happen anytime I go to your state. Anyway, so Cody Rhodes and Gunther, right? Cody Rhodes, we're going to talk. You said he did what most heels would have did, and that's strike first, right? Why do you think he struck first?
Because that was not his character.
Because
that wasn't his character, and
he lost the promo battle to Gunther, who did it without changing any kind of tone in his voice.
Okay, actually, he did change the tone of his voice because he got angry.
Gunther got angry?
No,
that's what I'm talking about.
Cody Rhodes did.
Gunther roasted Cody Rhodes.
Oh, you're saying Gunther pushed the buttons?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So Cody said Cody was trying to do his normal. He couldn't figure out what to say, so he struck first. Right, and it was the greatest thing I ever seen Cody do. And that's why Cody, they said that normal little thing they say on commentary was, and Cody's heard enough. Yeah, he heard enough because he lost a promo battle to Gunther, who's been low-key roasting everybody over the last 2 months during his world title reign that he gets on the microphone with.
Facts.
Roasting him.
Facts.
He, Cody does what he does on the microphone, that really monotone raising as he goes to the next line until he's at the point where all of his emotion is out and he feeds off the crowd. That's a cheat code for him. It's literally a cheat code for him, and it works every single time. Kaiser comes out. I'm not even gonna lie. Whatever the look that Kaiser had, the tights were a nice switch up. I thought those were good. Like the basic black and white doesn't work for everybody, but I think it works for them because they've been using it so long. You kind of get used to it. So when they try to flare it up a little bit, it looks a little different. But Orton
they're the longest lasting faction in the thing.
Can you call a tag team a faction?
I mean, listen, he could easily just add.
If that's the case, he would put the New Day.
Should put somebody.
I mean, they still haven't acknowledged that Big E's done. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. But Cody Rhodes, he gets saved by Orton, and Orton does what Orton does, picks up the belt, gives it that long stare. There's more long-term storytelling there. A lot of long-term storytelling there. So it's just. Do you see if we're getting Randy and Cody at Mania? Is that a do you see that in the horizon? EC?
Just a second. First of all, I want to sit here and say that black and white thing is definitely working with them. I agree with you 100%. What I don't necessarily agree with you on is the fact that Louis Kaiser was out there. Did you see Louis Kaiser? I didn't see Louis Kaiser. I saw somebody who ruined a great segment, right? Just so you have Randy Orton come out there. But the best part of this segment was, as you just mentioned, the WWE title being picked up. And now I do believe that, to answer your question shortly, is going to be the WrestleMania match. I don't know how we get there. I thought they were going to have this before, but the way they started with that promo, really building up Randy Orton, who's already built character. So I hate to say it like that. Yeah, I can see this being WrestleMania.
You know what? Also, there is a while it's on my mind. Did anybody in the chat see the Sports Illustrated top 20 wrestlers list? You guys see this?
I did not.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I just want to point out some notable names in their position. First of all, CM Punk was put over. He was one spot over Chris Jericho. I think that was wrong. They had Becky Lynch as number 20. No Charlotte Flair. She was the only woman on that list.
Why was Charlotte Flair
listed at number 20? Why would Charlotte Flair not be on there?
You said this year, right?
I don't know if it was of this year or I think it's like ever. I think it's all time.
Oh, ever? That's always going to be subjective. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I'm not trusting anything from Sports Illustrated though. Not Sports Illustrated to cover pro wrestling. It was what I mean. Like it's weird. It's like when ESPN covers pro wrestling. Like I'm watching TV and then at the bottom of the screen it's like, oh, it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I'm like, I'm trying to watch the fucking game. Like what are you talking about? It's just weird when ESPN does it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, but that's just a testament to how wrestling is getting bigger. It certainly didn't happen before. That was a taboo before, but now it's not.
Why, Mike? You ask why? Because pro wrestling has never been. It's never been a sport to them. To Sports Illustrated, it's never been a sport to them. They weren't doing this, and this is just recent. Maybe in the past 10 years. Other than that, they've never acknowledged professional wrestling in any of their publications. So why would we give them? Why would we give them any? It's like giving a Wrestler Observer a serious look. I'm not. We know who was in charge of wrestling.
Just a second. Just because their name is Sports Illustrated and they didn't acknowledge it before, it doesn't mean that they do not do it now. Doesn't mean they don't just do it now. And the people who do review it watch the product. So I think their thoughts are just as credible as yours, myself, or Vic's.
This is true.
Now maybe not so much Vic's because Vic's comes from logical sensors in his brain.
Well, Mike, you show me. Give me what you do, Mike. What you say, Mike? I need when, where, what year, what publication? I need that. I need that.
Cough.
Before we get into the last part of the match, we're going to take a quick commercial break. This is the Smackdown Penitentiary. You guys stay tuned.
What's her name?
Yeah.
What's her AEW name?
It doesn't matter. She has the belt. She should be.
She's the CEO.
She should be. Yeah, she should be.
Vince doesn't know what a CEO does, though. What a true CEO does.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
CEO.
She seems like a scaredy cat to me. Say that right now. She don't.
If you knew what a true CEO does, you would understand her position.
Yeah, she doesn't defend the belt. You're right. CEOs do shit. I understand. But what I'm saying to you is, you have her as a champion. She does nothing but take the back seat every single week. And then when she wrestled last week, she looked like complete garbage because she got thrown around the ring like a wet mop.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna probably agree with you.
And Katie's gonna agree.
I do. I think she's not a great wrestler.
She's not. She gets.
I think
she gets her ass beat every time she's in the ring. She gets.
I know. I'm sorry. She looks great.
The first woman to main event WrestleMania 101. You are aware of that, right?
Yeah. Well, that was a mistake.
That's fine. I mean, she's great looking.
Sure, he doesn't.
I mean, she's great looking. I'm not taking that away from her by any means. I'm just saying I've seen her wrestle a few times lately in AEW, and it's not super impressive to me.
That man said, he said, Sasha Banks main event WrestleMania. Vince goes, that was a mistake. That was a mistake is crazy word. Oh man. Now moving along into the final two matches of the night. We get DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. And I just thought Steve's in the chat. You're here, EC. And I just want to know. Because if you say anything other than yes, I know for a fact you guys are trolling. Did Motor City Machine Guns get a pop last night?
No.
Yes.
Are you? Oh, okay. Vic, I need you to turn your TV up because you didn't hear them announce the Crown Jewel match with a triple threat. You didn't hear nothing going on. And you said they didn't get a pop? They got a crazy pop. They didn't get a crazy pop.
They got a mid pop. They got a mid pop.
It was
for all the build up that they had for the Motor City Machine Guns and for the history that they have. They got a mid pop up. They not. I look. I think they would have gotten a bigger pop in AEW. Why? Because like AEW fans care more about the wrestling more. I'm starting to see a trend where people care more about the cinema than they do the wrestlers or the wrestling. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm starting to see that trend because the Motor City Machine Guns are an old team. This is like the Road War, like when the Road Warriors showed up. You know what I mean? Like should have been a big pop, but it was. In 5 years, if the Usos are gone from WWE and they happen to pop up somewhere else, I guarantee you, somebody gonna want to see them there. So they 10 years too late, as Mike would say. I don't know. I agree, but it's the same thing as AOP. Like it's the AOP effect. Like, but the fact that it took them, if Vince McMahon was still here, there's no way that they would have signed Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, you know what? Though? It's funny because you basically have two teams that wrestled each other that they took way too long to pull the trigger on, and that's DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. So, but honestly, like. What happened after that was pretty interesting. You know what I mean? This whole thing, like I haven't seen something like that in a long time. And clearly I get why they did it, so because now it's a family fight, you know what I mean? But yeah, bro, like, now we have new champions, which is interesting.
Can I comment on it real quick?
Go ahead.
So, no, it's not, because I'm reminded that this is not the Monday Night Raw show, right? So I'm giving y'all your show back. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting as a consultant. I'm just going to tell you what I feel. I lied. No, there's no way in hell they got a pop. They got no pop. Like just because, no. Actually, I'm glad that Dice did that. Because when Motor City Machine Guns came out, exactly what Dice did, half the crowd did. They walked up and they went to the bathroom. I don't know what Dice was watching. I don't know what Dice was listening to. They did not get a pop. Perhaps. All right, I'm gonna need you to go back to your YouTube TV. No, I know what you're doing. I know. Listen, because y'all didn't have no show on Monday, I get it. You want to hijack everybody else's show. This is not what's happening because you are a liar. You are a liar, Hogan. They absolutely had a pop. Now, what are you? Just a second. I think you're thinking of when they came out to their pyro. right?
No.
Anybody can come out.
No.
Anybody can. Let me pick on somebody. Big Daddy Cool Steven Pena can come out and get a pyro, and then because of that pyro, he would get a mid pop like you heard last night. But because they spent all this money on pyro for them for reasons I have no idea why, they had a lot of pyro for some stupid ass reason. You think they got a pop? They did not get a pop.
I know the difference between fireworks pop and an actual crowd pop, and so they already. Okay, so they're
you're a fan of them, obviously, right? But I think the best thing they did last night was give them a microphone after they beat DIY, which is the only match I actually was interested in seeing from them. And Solo cooked them on the microphone. That was the best thing that happened. Solo absolutely cooked them on the freaking microphone.
Yeah,
I've
he's
never
getting
seen
better.
You walk out twice. Why did you walk out twice? I know why. Because what happened was
Solo Sikoa trashed them on the microphone. Are you kidding me?
100%.
All he said.
100%.
No, don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. All that man says, oh, way to make an impact. That was the most cheesiest shit.
I'm not talking about that.
On a fucking
I'm
microphone.
not talking about
I'm
that.
not trying
What's
to
his
hear
name?
that. Stop
What's
it.
his name?
I get it.
What's one of
I
the names?
get it.
No, just a second. What's one of the names?
No, it's not no more just a second. No.
Listen.
Stop. It's not what we're doing. Now.
That gets old. I mean, I paid the fucking bill. Look, it's crazy.
No, that's why. Can we get on with our show?
No, because I'm giving you my opinion on what happened. You said that he didn't cook him. I'm telling you, he cooked him. How did he cook him?
I'm still trying to get to my point of a damn.
All right, go ahead. Say it. Go ahead. Say it.
Dang.
Just a second.
I'm saying.
Go ahead.
We need to change the name of this show for today. Of My Brother's Keeper. And scratch that, strike through it, put a line through it, and say, just a second.
Hold up. Can you read this comment?
A friend of mine texted me from Brooklyn show and asked me, "Oh, WW just put supermarket bag boys together to be the champion." Yo, you stupid!
The second they do look like he's outside of the supermarket to get the carts.
The supermarket bag boys.
You know those loaders, right? The ones that look at you funny because you don't put the cart back in the cart page.
Oh, that was crazy. Yo, Steven's always coming with the hit. It's funny.
Hold up, Cap. Don't leave. Hold up. I got a few more Alex Shelley jokes to tell. Give me some.
No, we don't. Because I literally said, I'm trying to get this an hour. I got shit to do. And I've had 1,800 just a second.
I don't know why I keep throwing me off. I keep popping back up like herpes. All right, go ahead.
Wow.
All right. I think that y'all getting it confused with who didn't get a pop. DIY is the one who didn't get a pop. Nobody reacted. Nobody reacted to DIY when they came out there. Absolutely nobody. There wasn't a change in volume. There was nothing.
I mean, when was the last time that DIY got a? When was the last time DIY got a big pop anyway?
When they first came to SmackDown?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, because we said multiple times throughout the show this year that the SmackDown crowd actually did give them a reaction. They were a SmackDown team because on Raw they did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. Listen, George, I don't know. I
feel like they're gonna split them up. Something about that whole kick in the face and all of that. I feel like they're gonna split them up.
You're right. I think Johnny Gargano is about to retire.
I think because the way that they were planting the seeds in the match, saying that Tommaso Ciampa didn't like this whole buddy good competition type thing. And Tommaso Ciampa is just looking at Gargano like, and he tagged himself in and was like, "Fuck this shit. You doing too much."
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
that's another one. Like,
you doing too much right now.
And that was interesting. I mean, another thing was just they were going heavy on the history. Like they were going heavy about like, oh, this guy, these two wrestled together, and Corey Graves was going in talking about like, oh, they used to sleep on my couch and do all of this. I still find that. No, wow.
I've never ever heard that story ever in my life. I mean,
that's the thing. Like things like that, I think it's refreshing. You know what I mean? Where It's just that they at least try to present it more and more real every week. And I have a feeling that a lot of this is pretty much the stuff that we're gonna get on Netflix, and then on Netflix it's probably even gonna be more open. For like,
I see that show. It's called Narcos or something, right?
Yeah, but yeah, no, this whole thing was interesting. I mean, I wasn't surprised that they gave him the W. But yeah, you know what happened.
Just a second, you don't think it was too soon?
No, not really. I don't think.
Why would you? Okay, yeah,
because I feel like these guys
agree.
are. I see. One thing that I see is that they're starting to build established teams, right? The teams of people that have been teams for a long time. You know, the Tongas, yeah, they were teams in other places, right? The Motor City Machine Guns, they were teams in other places, and
just a second. Can you name these other places?
What? New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Places is plural.
Oh, I think TNA. No, actually, no. Only New Japan actually, where they were together.
So, there you go. So just on the Motor City Machine Guns. Just a second.
Yes, they've been.
No. Just a second.
They've been Ring of Honor champions. They've been.
Here's my
TNA
point.
champions.
This is why they got no pop last night, right? No pop whatsoever, because no one knows who they are. No one knows who they are. Yeah, they were on there 3 times. What the fuck? No one knows who they are. They showed up last week on SmackDown. All of a sudden, now they had a mid match with the DIY. Right.
Just a second. Let me ask you this question, Chris.
Sure.
Steve, if you're still in the chat, feel free to answer as well. Are you a professional wrestling fan?
I've been a professional wrestling fan since before you were born, young man.
We're the same age, Goofy.
We are not the same age. I'm older than you.
How old are you?
I am 41 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, this doesn't come easy.
You're not that older.
I'm not that much older than you, but I've been watching since before you were born. But go ahead.
Okay. What do you like about professional wrestling? What do
you know what I like about professional wrestling? I like the characters and the work that they do. However, it was instilled upon me years ago when I was a young lad, right? That the reason why people watch professional wrestlers, the reason why these wrestling fans, and some people know what I mean when I say wrestling fans, okay? That's all I'm going to say because I want to be politically correct. Believe in these wrestlers that they watch and idolize these wrestlers that they watch is because they are larger than life characters that you think are real life. They're Supermans, your heroes, and stuff like that. That's why my favorite wrestler growing up was Hulk Hogan. He was a bigger wrestler. Now I'm seeing all these wrestlers who are smaller than me out here. And yes, some of them are very talented. Some of them I like. I'm a big fan of Orange Cassidy. But realistically speaking, you're not that professional wrestler that I'm used to looking for. And that's the problem I have with some of these wrestlers. Not all of them. Motor City Machine Guns, I think, are very talented. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I dislike the Motor City Machine Guns. I think they're really good. My thing is, I think 1 is too soon, and 2, most people do not know them, despite us knowing them because we are in more of the wrestling now.
I gotta agree with Shay.
You've been around Ron too much. I don't know that SpongeBob.
I gotta agree with Shay on this one. Seriously,
but let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
My point is, no one knows who they are. I'm not saying I dislike them. I think y'all think I dislike them. I'm not the hugest fan.
No, I think that you correlate saying that nobody knows who they are in the
when
sense
I say nobody, I mean a majority,
not
period.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying I think that when you say that, it correlates to okay, these people are people that go to shows are probably split, right? They are absolutely hardcore fans, and there's entertainment fans, right?
Correct.
But fans,
the majority of them are actually.
That happens a lot in New York, like.
But you have to understand that when people are looking and they say, "Hey, look, honey, the husband, WWE's in town. Let's take the kids." Right?
Exactly.
And those are the ones that go to Raw and SmackDown. They're like, "Oh, I remember what a Rock and blah blah blah," and they know these people.
Yeah, exactly.
They grew up during a Rock and Austin phase or John Cena or Randy Orton. But now they come and they go there because they want to see a Randy Orton or a Triple H or whatever like that or Brock Lesnar. And then they, instead of seeing those guys, right? You know, LA Light can fit the mold, but instead of seeing those guys, they see the Motor City Machine Guns. Who are these guys? Oh, they're talented, but we just watched the Olympics, right? Plus, I don't like the Motor City Machine Guns because I think they play to the fans too much. It's annoying, especially Alex Shelley. I was talking to Bad Guy Jack about an hour ago, and I was telling you don't know that time where Vince McMahon said he hated Christian's face? That's how I feel about Alex Shelley.
See, now I think that I'm not sure, but I don't know if they did MLW
and NXT.
No, but they did do MLW.
I'm sorry, I'm answering George's question. Go ahead. Who, the Motor City Machine Guns?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Because I noticed how Jacob Fatu was showing love to the MLW fans. You know what I mean? I don't know if you paid attention to that, but his shirt was like, you know what I mean? He was acting like a big baby face. I mean, he wasn't acting, but that shirt that he had on was very, very specific. And you know, I think it's because of all those MLW shows that they did over here. So, you know, just going back to my original point where like I think they were trying to book to a fan base that has a whole bunch of that basically has the crowd that always goes to HOG, that always goes to MLW, that always goes to you know, whatever indie show is around, because there's so many of them. You know what I mean? I think that that's who they thought they were going to cater to, but I think they ended up catering to the crowd that you said, the mom and pop crowd that's just taking the kids to WWE because they want to see Hulk Hogan.
So can you read this comment from Shay real quick for me?
Listen, you're so fixated on the pop when someone walks out. When I'm fixated on leaving, knowing I watched a great show due to their matches. Yeah, that's a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Right,
like she wants to see a great match.
Is going to like these indie shows and stuff like that. Like Vic though said earlier, people who go to Raw and SmackDown, they're going to see cinema, right? As much as they were happy, and Z, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, because I'm not. Z, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong. But the match itself, were they more interested in the match, or were they more interested when Jey Uso came out and interfered in the match, and then what happened? Everything that happened after the match. That's what they were really happy.
Okay.
That's why I said
let's not act like. But let's not act like when they had that match with DIY beforehand, the crowd actually was very into it, and they were chanting for more than half the match. No,
they were, but not as much as they were, say, during the Mellow.
See, you're not trying to give no credit.
No. I give you credit. They even chanted Motor City, and Corey Graves even said, "You're chanting Motor City in Brooklyn." So
this is awesome chant.
But at the same time, I don't think they got as big a chant as the ones from earlier. I don't think that match was that good. I think that honestly, I was looking forward to that match, and I thought that match was a letdown.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I thought that match was a letdown.
I think that looking at the way this segment went down, I think that everybody anticipated, or it was a Dr. Seuss book. It was easy to read that they cost Jey Uso his title. Why he's going to get him back?
Very easy and very predictable.
And what he said, next time I see you, it will be different.
Correct.
So,
but the judges
which is also why it makes sense for them to pull that trigger and give them the belts.
But did it take away from the moment? We all knew what was going down, especially when they announced the tag team title match. But did it take away from the moment, or was the moment still great, even though you knew exactly what was about to happen? And Jeffrey, to your point, they will get used to the crowd, especially now that they are champions. But realistically speaking, and I keep saying this, new titles as far as the championship belt itself, but those titles have meant absolutely nothing since WrestleMania.
That's another.
I think that they're trying to. I think that they're trying to get those belts some steam because they're starting to run that same tournament on Raw this Monday as well. Correct. So this is a good start.
Who are they facing? Who are they facing? Who's this team facing? Look at his face.
No, that's the completion of the tournament.
I know, but just a second. Who are they going to face next? Who's their next up for them?
I mean, you still got A-Town, Down Under, Street Profits. DIY is going to want their get back.
Tonga and DIY are probably going to face each other.
Probably. And then face them.
This is also a really good way to you separate the bloodline from the titles, because at this point, bloodline doesn't even need the titles. So
I will bury him every single time.
They don't.
I was always with you with Finn Balor. I'm with you with Jay White. Matter of fact, Brian and I were just talking about this. I'm with you with Finn Balor. I'm with you with Jay White. I will never be with you with Alex Shelley, and I'm definitely never going to be with you with Ethan Page. Ethan Page is a bug. The worst NXT champion I've ever seen in my life. The worst.
Oh my god.
By far.
So did you like him when he was with Scorpio Sky in AEW?
Yes. You know why? Because he was far away from real talent.
Oh my god.
While he's on AEW, I didn't have to see him, so he was great. He's been on NXT. He immediately got the championship. You see how well that worked. Terrible champion, boring champion. There's been how many? We're going to talk about this with top 5 NXT champions one day, or draft, because we're changing that name. But it was a horrible championship reign. Horrible. No. You know that Roman? Shay, pay attention to my lips. You know that Roman Reigns promo? If you think all ego Ethan Page was a good NXT champion, you're lying.
Okay, I'm not going to go.
Shay don't want none. Shay don't want none. She ain't going to be on the executive consultant because she can't take it. She knows I'm the executive consultant. No. I watch Rampage with my eyes closed and a blindfold and snores. That's how I watch AEW Rampage. I don't watch Raw or SmackDown with my eyes closed and a blindfold, or NXT. And I'll be in NXT on Tuesday. Chris Harris, I agree with you that Ethan Page shouldn't have been NXT champion. You know what, George Lewis? Thank you so much. I apologize for talking about your state. You are the only intelligent individual. Okay. You are the only intelligent individual to come out that state. You and whatever family member named Lewis is in that state are the only ones that are intelligent. Okay, yeah, you did have a good reign. You just can't see the vision, which is normal for you. Yeah, such a good reign. You know why it was good? Because they set it up for Trick Williams to win the championship back.
Basically.
That's why.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it was,
Nobody watches Rampage.
He was wait, what is that?
Same people watch Rampage. The same people watch Rampage gave the Motor City Machine Guns a pop.
There's nothing wrong with Rampage. They did have Ricochet on there, which was really weird. But
actually, if we're going to talk about the stones, I wouldn't want just the time stone. I would want all the stones so I could put my Infinity Gauntlet on, snap my fingers, and then Ethan Page would no longer exist. So let's save the future. Forget the past. Let's save the future.
You want a Thanos Ethan Page? That's crazy.
It's inevitable.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Moving on to the last segment of the match. I mean, of the night. Motor City accepts the challenge from the Bloodline to get it done right then and there. Really good match, honestly. If this was a New Japan match, probably a little bit better, but under the pretenses of WWE, it was still fine for how they like to present their product. Both of these teams have actually been in New Japan. Motor City Machine Guns has actually wrestled for everybody except for who we say GCW or MLW. They haven't wrestled for them. They've Ring of Honor, TNA. They had a match in AEW, and now WWE. So
Alex Shelley wrestled in HOG also. I know I was there.
Huh.
Oh, just a second. Can I tell you a funny story about that? When we were there at HOG, I was there with Vic and Ron and Steve. I don't remember Cap was there. But while we were watching HOG, you know what else we were watching? Vic, do you remember what else we were watching?
Yeah.
Please don't say the
we were watching the Bloodline.
We were watching SmackDown when Jay Uso kicking Roman Reigns in the face. Yep.
Yeah,
we were more interested in that than Alex Shelley. All right, go ahead.
That's true because I put it on my phone and all of a sudden everybody, when Jay Uso kicked Roman, everybody was like, "Oh shit!" and everybody was looking at us like, "What happened?" Talking about, all right, I gotta go watch it now.
We turn around. This is a true story. This is 100% true. And Alex Shelley looked at me. He was like, "What's going on?" And I said something about somebody left a cart in the back.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dice. Take control.
No, I'm letting y'all do y'all thing. It's Vic show too, damn it.
You're leaving.
I'm not gonna. No, but look, this match. We've been talking about it for a while, but honestly,
I'm gonna highlight this comment.
Clearly, it was something that was necessary to move the story along the line, and for them to give it to the Motor City Machine Guns. It's a great way.
You're picking it up over there.
It's a great way to promote them, and it's a great way to just keep the belts moving along. Because I feel like these guys were just placeholders for the belts to have something shiny that looked like the Bloodline, And then it's also pretty nice that the Usos themselves are the ones who took those belts off of them in a sense. You know what I mean? Both Jimmy and Jay. So I think that this whole thing is it just wraps around itself, for lack of a better phrase. So I think I definitely think it's going to be a win.
Well, I will say this: taking the titles off of them now before the Usos reunite was a very intelligent move. So from that perspective, yeah, I agree with you that it was a good move because if the Usos were there and they were still tag team champions, everybody would just automatically assume and want the Usos to take the titles away from them. So from that point and aspect, yeah, I will agree with you. Still horrible. Look at this man. I mean, at least Chris Sabin has the benefit of having a good first name, but
oh, okay. In the match, we got Jay Cole's going crazy. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes.
Just a second. What happened to Tonga Lama?
He got kicked in the face.
We're not going. If we're going to get copyrighted for something, can we get copyrighted for something good? Like, let's see him get kicked to the face.
Go back that far.
Oh, that's so sad. Well, that's fine. That's gonna be my new wallpaper. Down goes Tonga Lama.
Oh God. I mean, everybody do this. You really can see the difference in
between Jay and Jimmy.
Between Jay and Jimmy, body wise now, like Jay is a lot slimmer.
I
Jay
agree.
is a lot
Jay
slimmer.
is a gorgeous man, Cap.
I told you if I had a top 5 and I was choosing male, I'm picking all Samoans in the most heterosexual way. That's all.
No way.
I would have the most boring draft. Give me all the same Owens. That's all I'm saying.
All the same Owens. No, but you are absolutely right, Dice. The body wise, yeah, Jay, and it's been like that for a while. They both actually were slimming down. I think starting 2016, 17, they gained weight. The New Day actually called them out on it in an interview. It was funny. And then they started slimming down. They both slimmed down, and then Jimmy picked the weight back up, but he does a lot of drinking. And that's not me. That's not me trying to clown him. Because when I met the Usos, they both were at the bar, but Jimmy does a lot more drinking. He takes more. Jay takes better care of himself. So, and despite what people think, they don't live in the same city, they don't live in the same state, they don't live in the same house.
Jay's from San Francisco.
Yeah, but Jay lives in Florida. No, I'm sorry, Jimmy lives in Florida. Jay lives in
San Fran. Yeah.
So,
we got after that. The thing I would say nitpicking, because I always have to have something that I nitpick about. It was just that final those final seconds, and the nitpick for me was the fact that it was too much dead air. Like, we had Jay in the ring. He didn't have a microphone or nothing. First, he's on the outside pacing. Everybody leaves the ring already. He's still on the outside. There's all this dead air going around. They got the camera on Jay. He don't know what to do. Like, and then he's in the ring pacing again. No microphone, nothing. And then we have to wait, and we see Jimmy come out. I can't wait for whoever put the Family Matters music on. They got to do this. It's one of the most wholesome moments. If we're talking, top 5 bloodline moments, this could easily make somebody's list, which we'll be doing that at the end of November. But the hug, the embrace, anybody that has a brother, a family member they're really close to, you're going to fight, but you always make up, and half the time you don't even have to say sorry. It's just the look. And I think this is what this moment was. He understood, and we got one of it was one of the loudest pops of the bloodline that I've seen.
Exactly. That was one of the loudest pops of the night. So it's all about the cinema.
Well, it wasn't hard when the last half hour was Motor City Machine Guns. I felt like this was rushed.
I did too. I got that feeling too. But we had 7 weeks.
It was good. Yeah, exactly. But it was good. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. One of the best moments of the bloodline, which I still, once again, I was on the phone back out Jack for a while. And, I really will say, in my opinion, Bloodline is the best storyline ever.
Yes.
But it definitely was a top pop. But I could see where they were pressed for time. I felt like even just the look between Jimmy and Jay was a little rushed. Like they should have, it should have been more of a longer. Will he? Will he not? Will he? Will he not? but they had to give Motor City Machine Guns their time because they won. They didn't want to just rush them to look like the bums that they are. So I get that.
I think
but then I was even more upset.
That was at the 9:57, 56-ish mark. By the time Jimmy came out there, it was literally like 9:59.
But they could have tried to do a better edit or something. And what I mean by that is I didn't know. I just learned this. Okay. I did not even know this. True story. Real true story this time. This was taped.
Yes.
An hour behind. I did not know that. So from that aspect, I think they should have edited or cut it real quick if they could. I'm not sure they can. But if they could, I feel like they should have edited it, make it a little bit better. And then this even, and I know why they did it, the time frame they did it, but this disappoints me because now it's spoiled. Right?
Yeah.
Because I've seen the pictures. I wasn't looking for it. Normally, I don't look and read.
That's what happened to me when I was trying to find stuff for the show today. It happened because I'm looking. I'm like, Jay didn't even have that shirt on. What is this? Like, I'm thinking it's old. And I just looked ahead. You know what I'm saying? So, this look.
But they're going to. The funny thing is, mark my words right here, Dice. Okay, I'm giving you an EC guarantee.
Okay.
The OG Bloodline are going to lose that first match.
Yeah, because they're going to need somebody else. They're still going to be outnumbered.
And
they're going to need Sami Zayn.
They're going to get Sami Zayn.
I know that Mike doesn't want Sami any part of this, but Sammy's a oos, man.
Sami has to be in it because the peak of the Bloodline, and they've had a lot of peaks, but the truest peak of the Bloodline, Sami was there. He really was. And actually, so was Solo to a certain extent, and I wouldn't be surprised if sooner or later they were going to tease that part. But yeah, he was there.
You know,
aren't there still other people that they're going to bring in?
Exactly. That's why a lot of people think that sooner or later Jacob Fatu is originally going to take over. And then then that's forces Solo to have to take some humble pie and go back to the original to really be the original Bloodline, because that was what I mean. Not for nothing, people talk about Samantha Irvin, my number one. And shout out to you. I hate Ricochet, even though it wasn't his fault. I know what the deal was, but that's fine. They look up her best moments, and a lot of them always go back to there was a SmackDown interest with all 5 members of the Bloodline when they were all champions or something like that. They just went on War Games. That's everybody's favorite interest of the Bloodline. Mine too. I watch that at least once a month, right? All of them were there. Paul Heyman still needs to come back. I think Paul Heyman's 2 weeks from coming back. It's going to be a fantastic time. To answer that question earlier, and I did say it. Top of the 8th inning, I think, is what we're in. But it's going. But Sami Uso has to be there, and also I'll go double down. It's going to be Sami. It has to be Sami because where is Sami? He's not injured. They keep him off TV because they don't want him mentioned right now, and they don't want you to think about it. But realistically speaking, any intelligent wrestling fan knows it's going to be Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Yeah,
Solo's going to be kicked out of Bloodline Survivor Series. They lose, and I can see Jacob, who, mind you, is doing a perfect combination. Shout out to him. A lot of people are playing their roles very well. Jacob Fatu is playing a perfect combination of Solo and Paul Heyman. I don't know why I said Mark Henry. Paul Heyman. Because his mannerisms, when he's doing interviews and stuff like that, is Paul Heyman. Just like Dice did up there. That is Paul Heyman most of the time on Roman Reigns. I love you, Mike. That's what he's doing. Paul Heyman's working that backstage.
The wild card in all of this that nobody has even said anything about, and where do they fit? Where does The Rock fit in all of this?
I would keep The Rock back.
That is still the part of the story. This is why I can't say that we're
Rock
at
is going to be
top
on
of
the
the
opposite side. Rock is going to be on the opposite side.
He's got
whatever
to be.
opposite side of Roman Reigns is. But my thing is, and forgive me, I'm sorry for saying this, because Rock is one of my favorites of all time. Yo ass did not need to come back at that last pay-per-view, PLE. I forgot what it was called, Bad Blood. You didn't need to be there, because the only thing you did was come out and do one of these, do a couple of final bosses backstage in an interview that only you can watch online, and now you're not going to be around until next year. What was the fucking
allegedly?
He won't be back until next year.
I say Rumble.
There was no point.
I think they're booking him the
War Games or Rumble.
Booked Alpha and Sika when they put the Ula Fala on Roman Reigns. I think they're just going to book him as like a high chief and somebody who just comes out sporadically. Because the thing is that the guy's always busy doing a million things, and it's hard to book him into anything. And I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up especially at Survivor Series. That I definitely.
I 100% doubt he's going to show up in Vancouver.
Well, yeah, that is far. That is far.
That's the problem,
we'll
because
I agree. I hate that championship too. I agree with you, Jeff. That's an ugly looking title.
You know what's crazy?
It's like every time he comes out with the title, I feel like, oh, am I watching AEW? Like, what's going on?
That's funny.
I wanted to leave this shot here as we welcome in Mike Knox from the Mike Knox Show. This is a really powerful shot because for me and what I interpreted, right here, that's the odd man out. Correct. Roman is the odd man out. However, Jay has a much stronger relationship with Roman than Jimmy does, because let's not forget that Jay was the right-hand man. He was the lieutenant to Roman, right? He's had the most beef. No matter what Solo has done right now, he still has not, the beef doesn't even compare to the shit that Jay went through with Roman.
You know what I find interesting about that, though?
3 straight matches. He lost to him in Hell in a Cell. He made that man literally beg and say, I quit. Like, he had that man acknowledge him in tears. He had that man say, I hate you. Why you gotta do me like that? I hate you.
Here's the weird thing about this whole story, though. Jimmy was the one who kicked Roman first, right? And Jimmy was the one who crossed the line as far as all of that. And Jay was the one who was just like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And you know, we all know the rest of the story.
Absolutely,
but I just find that interesting about, you know, the back end of this when it comes to this part, you know, as far as like where Jimmy Uso is, you know, just so forgiving. You know what I mean? As far as that whole situation. But I got a feeling that a lot of people just forgot about that.
Yeah. Mike, your thoughts here?
That is exactly what it was. You talk about cinema. You started off the show with cinema. Am I my brother's keeper? I know the answer to that. Yes, I am. That's why I had to show up and rescue you to put some order back here in the penitentiary. People around here like dropping the soap, so that's okay. When you look at this right here, thank you. That was everything. So the fact, this is what I did backstage. I woke up, I got tagged. When I watch Power, I watch Penguin, I watch Marvel. We all know you don't tag people. We know they're out there, right? You say, well, no, I don't. I'm see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. No, I'm like, this is my lasting remembrance of SmackDown. And then I wake up to some bullshit. So in this moment, though, it was exactly just that. Like, yo, I still haven't acknowledged you. I see you. You know, we haven't had our talk pretty much. Let me not acknowledge you, but you're like, damn, okay, I'm by myself. I got my brother's back, but what am I? And then everything you just spoke on about their history, and then Shay chimes in with it runs deep. It's so deep. It's why he beat his ass, because I love you. G Money had to get capped because he was smoking on that glass penile.
He was still smoking on that glass dick.
Still smoking on the penile. And he did not check to see the pimples on her booty. So he didn't do his job. I didn't see the pimples on her booty.
The CMB, man.
That's all we got. That's all we got. I just thought this moment was just like last night. I went off of this thing like we didn't want this, or we didn't think it was coming this soon. And then I saw, so, you know, like I always say, the people who lay the breadcrumbs, the wrestling fans that do this stuff that I don't know, that pops up the good stuff. Roman scheduled at every fucking show. I said, oh, they're going to pull this shit super early. It made every sense for that. Sorry, Dice, you know I love you. They didn't get no fucking pop, bro. Okay? To give the titles to them, and I was going to save this for Monday, but I couldn't because I'm here now. The Triple H who I love you some Triple H, okay? Get out your Tony Khan bag and try to always adapt to the other side of the audience. I get what the executive asshole be saying. They don't know these motherfuckers. We may know them, but they don't know them because they're here for this. They're here for this right here.
My thing is, everybody has to start somewhere. Let's not.
No, I get that, but it's 10 years starting though, guys.
But we still got to get. Okay, so a lot of people didn't know AJ Styles, right? Can I
ask you this? Real fast? Real fast. You love to point out and wrestling fans, they're shoving it down our throat. The last 2 weeks of the putting over the Motor City Machine Guns on commentary is shoving them down my damn throat. Like, I know this shit, man. And if you don't, I get it. You're dumbing it down for those who don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But it's pointed on pretty thick. And I know you some. I love Pamela Martinez as well. But that don't mean you got to go and do all that. You know what I'm saying? But they had to get the belts off of them. So, hey, give it to them. I like what you said too, Vic. You have to move these belts around. You just do. You got so much there. Why not? Who really? Whatever. And it does make sense. It just takes that off of the Usos. Oh, they're going to take the titles. No, they're not. It's about that brand new you follow, by the way. That's a new one. Mm-hmm. The oven must have got snapped or something. You don't see the pills.
Shipping off that thing.
Yeah. Had to get it repainted. That's not the original color.
It was looking like a gold chain.
It was looking like we already got the red belt too.
Like he just racking it. Like it was straight. He was definitely giving Nino Brown energy. You know what I mean? He was definitely all he needed was a dog.
You know I'm a Uso fan from day one. You know what I mean? Like this was this stuff gets on my nerves, although I get it. I do, I ain't gonna lie. First of all, that's pretty cool. He did that. Like, stop, Triple H. Executive producer, we get it. This is not Vince McMahon's wrestling anymore, and you're doing a very marvelous job at it. He's actually pandering to all spectrums of the wrestling realm.
These looks that Roman is giving is top tier.
Look at his face. He's pissed.
He's the odd man out. It looks like he's the odd man out because every single time there has been Jay and Jimmy versus Roman, they will choose each other every single time.
And you know what though? Roman is getting his piece of humble pie right now.
I don't mean to pull a executive consultant, but George, again, the most of the Machine Guns have to get used to being in the front of a W Universe, and the W Universe has to get used to that. That has nothing to do with. They don't know who they are. That's all it is. I'm saying, like, we're not saying they're bad wrestlers. We're not saying they can't do this or they can't do that, or other wrestlers was not inspired by them. We're just talking about the majority of the WWE credits. The thing about wrestling fans, I don't know what you do or who else out there listening. If you go to the shows, you watch them at home. I tell you all the time, they're not really made for certain audiences. They're just not. Depends on what city they're in.
They had to give Shinsuke Nakamura a chance.
And they did a good job. They did a good job.
You had to give Bobby Roode a chance, right? Like they're great around the world, but WWE is a whole different world within itself. So I just say give them a chance. It like for people that watch different type of wrestling, but once you get into that WWE universe, it's a completely different monster. It's like trying to compare like Fast and Furious world to the multiverse of Marvel.
Shit, right? They damn near similar.
Yeah, you're damn right. Listen, I might not even take. I might give me Dom's crew for any crisis. I don't even want the Avengers no more.
We can't die.
I apologize because I had a work call and I couldn't. Somebody apparently was trying to pull up their pants. I had to take it. However, I do have the question. What are we talking about? Are we talking about the Motor Machine Guns again? They must be really happy because nobody's ever talked about them this much.
We are talking about this powerful shot. However,
I think Jeffrey that said it. Roman is contemplating to join them, but he's not sure how to feel about this. I think that was a very good explanation.
I think that he realizes that he has to say sorry.
And you know what? And that could be also the case because when he was face to face with main event Jey Uso a couple weeks ago, you saw in his face where he wanted to say it, but he still can't. Because he
spoke to him. He spoke to him. He said, "We see what you're doing." No, he didn't technically apologize.
He said he was proud of him.
Yeah, he's never apologized. Now, are you about to talk spoilers? If so, I gotta go.
No, as an egotistical person, much like you and Z the Silent is up there, and Vic too, to his credit, low key. You know how hard it is to say we apologize.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes
don't say me. I'm an apologetic motherfucker. And everybody except for Vic would know that.
He would randomly call me like, "I'm sorry, bro." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man?"
I'm gonna, yeah.
Just a second.
Executive does the same thing. Like, man, that was yesterday.
Because I get over shit quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how long you were watching the show today. I know you were in and out, but George,
I was there the whole time.
George
I was getting my 2K on.
Was pissing me off, right?
No, you were pissing the audience off.
How was just a second? How was I pissing the audience off?
Well, with all due respect, because you kept saying just a second, which is great. And by the way, Z is the Gorilla Monsoon to your Hulk Hogan, because how he gets that over. Okay. 2, because again, with all due respect, so you have to relax. It wasn't your show. Go ahead, Z. Go ahead, Vic.
Oh, so now I'm in trouble. Okay, go ahead.
No. So before we do the roundup, final thoughts of SmackDown that was double booked, and I really don't want to get into next.
Just a second, I get a final thoughts for you. You throw a tomato at me, I'm gonna throw a tomato at you. Don't ever disrespect the executive consultant just because you pansies don't want to sit here and admit that your team suck, right? The Motor City Machine Guns. How are you gonna be 45 debuting? You know what I'm saying? Next thing you're gonna tell me
That's the point. Ding ding, ding dong. Hello.
Okay. You know what? That's fine.
I told you guys I need that at my studio, yo.
And then you're gonna sit here and be like, oh, they had a pop. Oh my, they had no fucking pop.
and again, and I know people who were there. I do. I know a few. I know like a dozen of people that were there, and they did not get one though. They got. Let me rephrase that. They got a pop from the crowd that knows them. So there were 16,000 people there. You had about 4,000 cheer.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying.
You know what, Jeffrey? You've been in the dark.
I don't know. I heard a difference in volume.
Does anybody know what Jeffrey lives?
Remember that thing called pipe noise?
Just a second.
If that maybe I doubt it, but
the pipe noise was only when they put their graphic on the
Shut up.
The television. That's when they piped the noise. That was it. Everything else is completely generic. 12,000 people there, 2,000 cheered. The other ones went to the bathroom faster than Z walked off the show. Now, can somebody please tell me where Jeffrey Motor City Machine Gun Supremacy? You sound like a white nationalist group. Shut up. Can somebody tell me?
That was very.
Tell me where is Jeffrey from? Because I'm a fry his.
I know he's from.
Where is he from?
He's from the Virgin Islands.
He's from the Virgin Islands.
Yes, he is.
That's why. You know why they call it the Virgin Islands?
Okay. All right, this man has to be stopped. Listen, everybody at UPR, let's make sure that
I just want to come here and talk.
No. Can we acknowledge that this man's wearing an Autobot shirt, hat on because he saw the movie last night? Can we acknowledge that? Because he got
That's actually not why.
I mean,
I'm wolfing. I'm my version of wolfing, and I grabbed the first hat that wasn't a wrestling hat. So,
everybody at UPR. Let us not let the Raw review show
let my people go.
The show,
because
this is what happens. EC has been all over UPR every single show. He's been all over UPR, and he tells us we can't do too many shows. You're going to oversaturate it. But he done did a show every day this week. Sometimes two shows. Sometimes 2 shows.
All UPRE, I'm on all the bitches too.
All because he didn't get a Raw show. We didn't get a Raw show. This man just got something to say.
That's 100% accurate.
That's a half true, and he's bored.
That's also true.
But
I'm a broke bitch, and I need to stay home more. So I've been on every show.
We welcome everybody here on the penitentiary. Anytime, just pop right back in the backstage. We'll get you guys on. Vic, final thoughts of the night on SmackDown.
Like I said from the beginning, straight sentiment. Like, just Roman Reigns staring at the end, contemplating what's going to happen. I mean, like right now it's at a spot where everything is predictable. People have been talking about Survivor Series since WrestleMania. So,
just a second. Stefan Nubiello is calling me. I just want everybody to know that.
Nice. So like I was saying, we've been seeing this whole thing just come up, but everybody's just waiting to see who comes next. You know what I mean? The Tongas came, Jacob Fatu came. If somebody else is coming, let's see what happens.
Final thoughts, Mike Knox.
Okay. My turn. I thought you were gonna go executive consultant first, but all right.
You know he's gonna take up all the time. I can't even.
It's supposed to be done.
I think that SmackDown. I've said it openly many a times on the Mike Knox show that SmackDown is the best show. It's the best show in wrestling. So it's difficult, especially when I'm not working, to sit here and not hop on. So I want to thank you for that, and I don't like to do it because I don't want to regurgitate what I do come Monday. You know what I mean? But you were rudely interrupted by poop whoopsie. So I decided, let me come in here and let me, get my 2 cents in when I got a chance to. But it was exactly what Vic said. It's cinema, man. It was a good show. It really was. Today's year show was a good show, despite those antics were hilarious, by the way. But just SmackDown was great. I can't wait for more. I can't wait for more. And check out. And I give you more Monday. I put it like that. Just a good show. Just a good show.
Executive consultant, final thoughts on, did you even like today's last night's show? Because we know you and Steve barely like anything.
I don't think SmackDown's the best show on television. I said that. I honestly think right now it's the third best wrestling show on television. I think.
Oh, you're right. It's a wrestling. I'm gonna say because they're told to show the Penguins. My bad. But you talk wrestling.
Wrestling show. I think Raw is number one. I believe that. I think
not without that third hour.
No, let me tell you what. Without the third hour, it makes Raw number one. Without that third hour, it helps it a lot. I think Raw is the best. Let me tell you why I think I say that over SmackDown. And I'm not taking anything away from SmackDown. Still a good show, but you don't have Roman or the Bloodline on the show. It's painful to watch.
Guess what? If you don't have Rock, Stone Cold, and Triple H and Attitude Era, that was painful to watch. And guess what? You removed the Joker from Dark Knight Rises. Guess what? My movie Batman is better. So remove any of the greats. SmackDown's the greatest because your tribal chief with your punk ass left the tribe acknowledges that's why it's the best show. So yeah, well, just a second is because it's not his watch stop.
You know what? I mean, it's just a second with me. It's just a minute for you because I'm trying to figure out why you interrupt. I didn't interrupt your bullshit, but you came on once again. It's like you always do. Did it top five to say some bullshit. Let me go ahead and end your shit right now. Okay, no, just a second. Let me end your show right now.
NXT is.
You talk about some fucking attitude.
I think it's the greatest female wrestling in the company.
The question was, do you think about it? And we're talking about today. I think today, this year, Raw doesn't have Stone Cold, The Rock, or Triple H. We're talking about today.
I was arguing your point. That's your
better than SmackDown because SmackDown consistently does not have Roman Reigns. When Roman took his break, it was hard to watch at times. Not bad, but hard to watch sometimes. Raw is more consistent. I think NXT has gotten much better. I think NXT will actually be the number one show if All Ego Ethan Page wasn't on. That is what I'm saying. But besides that, SmackDown was perfectly fine. However,
so basically, NXT is the best show, basically, to you.
Well, Ethan Page is on, and he takes away a lot. But I will end this with this, all right? My highlight was not SmackDown. My highlight was not Jey Uso or Roman Reigns. My highlight was not talking about the state of Kentucky or pissing Shay off because she likes fucking Alex Shelley, who needs to be thrown away and thrown into a garbage can somewhere and make a good impact. Yeah, I'm going to be corny. My favorite part of the show was me finding out. No, I'm not obsessed with Ethan Page. Was me finding out that King Garden Bay, British Virgin Islands, is actually where Jeffrey is from. And Jeffrey, let me explain to you something.
What are you doing here? This is not what we do in the penitentiary. We don't bash our viewers on the penitentiary. You take that over to the Rated R Raw or whatever.
I'm not going to bash the viewer. Jeffrey is like one of my favorite fans, but he wanted to be a turncoat. He wants to be a Benedict Arnold, right? So I just went and found out where he was from. That's all. And whether you're from the Virgin Islands, whether you're from the Bermuda Triangle, whether you're from any other part that you have to catch a plane to, understand to keep your ass over there and never come across to the mainland because as soon as you do that, I'm going to cook you so hard you're going to end up in Kentucky. That's the end. That's all I got to say. Go ahead and throw it out there. See, take over your show.
Yeah, let's get up out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have something for everybody. Next, wait, time out. Was there even a Halloween Havoc pre-show, prediction show?
Just a second. The best thing Alex Shelley ever did was walk to the back, and I don't have to look at him anymore. No, we did not, but I'm going to have a Halloween Havoc prediction show in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Okay, so Halloween Havoc is tomorrow. Yeah, he's bored, so let's do a show. All right, Monday you got the Mike Knox show, 6 p.m. If they feel like it, you got the Raw review crew after Raw. Tuesday, NX Tuesday with Bad Guy Jack.
That's all I gotta say.
Wednesdays, White Boy Wasted Wednesdays with Dan the Man, Candice Katie, Vince, and Mad Dog with the news. And then Thursday, top 5 predictions as well. So we got Crown Jewel and we have top 5 North American champions. And then you guys can come back here on Saturday for the SmackDown Penitentiary. Any last words before we get out of here from anybody? Nope. All right, there it is. So for Zia Silent, for Vic, for Executive Consultant, I am Zia Silent. This has been today's edition of the SmackDown Penitentiary. As always, Live hard, love often, love always. Drink, be merry, and reach for the sky. Is always rest in peace to Jay Briscoe. We are out of here, y'all. We're going to leave you guys with a nice little clippy clip here. Peace.
Welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
So backstage, Nia looking very scrumdiddlyumptious. I mean, anytime. I mean, the curls. It's the curls. Love the curls. Need the curls. Can't do anything without the curls. I just want the curls. And anytime that woman has those curls on, those curls are popping. The makeup is flawless. But not to be outdone, because Tiffy time. I like the darker highlights in the hair. No, I'm not gay.
We're not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, of course not.
I mean, it's fine if that's who you are.
Absolutely.
I mean, I have many gay friends.
My father's gay.
Because mostly they would say men, we don't pay attention to things like these, and this is actually this is a really good detail that has made her hair not look so fake. Because most of those blondes that they have, they come up from NXT, they got super bright blonde hair, and it just looks fake. And Tiffany's hair did look super fake.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Actually, no. Go ahead and finish. I have to visualize this question.
Okay. He has to visualize. He needs flashcards, Jack.